Hey guys, what is going on? It is Frostify here, and today I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks on how to price your designs. Before this video starts, I just want to give a huge shout out to a motion designer I've come in contact with by the name of Blurry. He was able to hook me up with a nice outro that looks nice and professional, and for that, I can't thank him enough. His Twitter will be in the description if you are interested in contacting him for any work. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. I actually personally see this issue a lot on Twitter and also in my messages. And the question most designers ask themselves when they're first starting out is, how do I price my designs? I'm going to be giving you some tips to hopefully push you towards finding your price range for your designs and other things of that nature. So without further ado, let's get into tip number one. The first tip I have for you is do not do free work. The reason why you want to avoid doing free work is because it gets you in the habit of doing free designs, and not only that, it could really throw your customer's view off. And when I talk about customer view, I'm basically talking about their testimonial towards your work and your services. A prime example of when this can actually come back to bite you in the butt is if you make free work for a client and they actually go and recommend you to one of their friends. It doesn't even have to be a friend, it could be anyone completely random, or maybe even family members as well. But what will end up happening is they will message you expecting free work, and then they will be very disappointed to find out that you don't do design work for free, and it's just a big waste of time. So to basically sum up tip number one, do not do free work. It is a big waste of your time and actually will not help you find your price range at all. The second tip to help you find the price for your designs is take note of your time and quality. Practice asking yourself these questions: how long is it going to take me to make this design, and what is my quality level at? The client is most of the time going to be commissioning you for your skill, but you also have to take note of how much time it's going to take to make the design. For example, a header design is probably going to take you 2 to 3 days, while a stream package might take you 1 to 2 weeks. In my personal opinion, the prices will definitely vary and be different based on how much time they both take to make. You can basically put that example with anything that you're working on, whether it be motion designing, illustrating, designing, anything like that. To basically sum up tip 2, take note of your time and quality, reflect upon yourself and your skill level, and also identify how much time you're going to be taking on the design. Overall, this tip really helps you find how valuable your time is and other things of that nature, so definitely a tip to take into consideration. For tip number 3, I recommend asking others for their own opinion. Preferably not asking your closest friends because their opinion could come off as biased, but you can message some designers on Twitter or maybe even random people that are looking for designs and get their personal opinion on how much they would pay for your design. Now, just a slight warning, if you go to someone who is actually looking for a design, they might give you a low price just hoping for the fact that they might get a discount off of your work. So if you decide to go that route with talking to people that need design work, just be very cautious and understand where they're coming from. As a matter of fact, if you have no one to talk to, you can always drop a follow on my Twitter and send me a message, and I would be happy to tell you how much you should price your designs and maybe give you some additional tips. For our fourth tip, respect the process. One of the things you are going to have to understand with pricing your designs is it's not an easy process and it could actually take a long time. This will obviously vary with some people, but if it does take a while, you have to understand that there's no reason to get upset. There's going to be a lot of experimenting and a lot of trial and error until you understand how you should price your designs. And when I say trial and error, I am basically talking about experimenting with prices and seeing how your client responds and other things like that. You won't completely understand it right away, but it'll come to you as time goes on. Which leads me to my next tip. Tip number 5, start small and experiment. Now that I am really thinking about it, this isn't really much of a tip, but it is kind of a technique. One thing I personally did as a designer, and I'm pretty sure other designers have as well, is I started very small. For example, when I first started out, I would charge a very small price of like $10 a header, and I would grow off and grow my skill and then raise the price as I went on. This can really help you by measuring where you're at quality-wise and other things of that nature. So if you are a beginner and upcoming designer, I definitely recommend using this tactic if you are lost and don't even know where to start. Tip number 6, I recommend knowing your client. Ask yourself questions like, am I designing for someone with a YouTube channel with over 100,000 subscribers, or am I designing for someone who is just starting out? Basically, in this example, I am trying to explain to you that you would probably charge more for the YouTube channel that has 100,000 subscribers rather than the person who is just now starting out. And that goes for everything and everyone, such as Twitch streamers and basically anyone that is ordering graphics from you. To give you a clear idea, this should basically give you an idea on if you should charge more based on how much the client is making or if you should charge less. This tip is useful but can also change your prices drastically over time. If I had to say the personal tips that have helped me with my prices the most over the years, I would say take note of your time and quality, do not design for free, and start small and experiment. It's very important that you do what you're comfortable with, but also experiment along the way to see if there's anything that you're possibly missing and if there's any ideas that you've missed and stuff like that. So those are my personal tips on how to price your designs. I apologize if these tips were very weak and maybe hard to follow. This is my very first how-to video, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me. If you feel like you need more detailed tips and maybe some extra help, I highly recommend Visual Arts' How to Price Your Designs video. The link will be in the description below. And like I mentioned before, my Twitter DMs are always open if you guys want some honest opinions on what prices should be and other things like that. Anyways, without further ado, I really hope this video helped you guys out. I definitely plan to do more how-tos in the future and maybe even some tutorials, so stay on the lookout for that. With that being said, I really hope this video helped you guys out. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. It's absolutely insane. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.